Hey everybody, and welcome back to what's kind of more of a demo than a dev video. I just kind of want to show off a really quick feature. So what I'm essentially doing is creating a system to bake the item renders inside the game into an external file that I can then use for whatever I want. Doesn't matter what it is, what it can be used for, anything. How this works is it goes through all the items. Let me actually uncomment this code now that I'm done testing because I just fixed it, just got it working. It's not finished. I do have a bit of work to do before it's done. So keep that in mind when I go to show this. But it goes through all the items in the game, and then it essentially runs render code on them and saves them to an external folder. Essentially, this is what it produces right now. I got it tested with a stick, so before I go and test it on all the other items, I know something's going to break. We're going to go ahead and start rolling with it. So how to do this is if you are in dev mode inside of VoltzEngine, you can hit Control and then End key. It's going to cause a flicker with the screen. There's no way to really avoid this unless I make an external thread for rendering this. It is going to stall the game out slightly as it slowly goes through and renders every object in the game onto a 128 pixel viewport. So it essentially makes its own viewport. The reason why Minecraft acts up is that Minecraft has its own viewport already, and I'm piggybacking Minecraft's viewport system in order to get this to work. I'm taking over the OpenGL viewport that Minecraft is using, and then I'm using it for my own purposes, and then I reset it back to Minecraft's viewport when I'm done. So it doesn't really break Minecraft, at least it hasn't yet, but you really shouldn't continue playing the game after you do this. This is really meant to be a one-off tool that you use for something and then you go do whatever you were meant to be doing in the first place. The great example is if I need textures for the wiki. So if I want to go through and make a wiki for, say, Addicted to Red, I can go through, bake all of Addicted to Red's renders. They will save as the file name. So it will save as item.stick if it was a stick, or it would be like item.redstone switch or something. And then I can go dump that into a folder for the wiki. And then the wiki can just reference that image. And I don't need to create some special program to get the textures. I don't need to do anything fancy. I don't need to go break open the Minecraft jar and go grab all those textures. I'm baking these textures at a good resolution. They're at a higher resolution too, which really helps with scaling. So websites have some difficulties displaying really small textures, which is a big thing. This also helps with anything else I want to do. The main thing I'm actually building this for is if I can pop it open. Control and Home key. Is this thing. So when I'm debugging recipes and stuff, and I'm debugging various things, I can see the names, but that doesn't really help me. What I want to be able to see is what item turns into what item. So maybe right above the name, have the actual item rendered here. And the only way to do this is I need an image. So a buffered image is what I actually have it set up to do. So if we go into here and we take a look at what this is a static method. It picks up the file name we're going to put it. It figures out the localization name. I'm probably going to maybe tweak this a little bit. I need a little bit more information on that because this is, I think, only going to save one item. Actually, as long as the localizations are set up properly, which means I'm going to have to add special handler for IC2 because a couple of its items are broken. When it comes to localization names, it should work. I have a system for this that actually do have a method that actually does work with this. And I'll just go ahead and put that in there to fix it. It creates the file save. It will set the object. It will then create a buffered image, and then it'll write that buffered image to the file. There is some slight problems with this, as I'll get ready to show. So it does create everything. So we go through Minecraft. I have every single item in Minecraft now rendered. I have to fix the fact that there's a black background, and this background, I know, has a tendency to change a little bit, and of course it's horrible to see on this stuff. I'll figure out a background that I could use that looks really, really nice, and then I can clip out. The idea would be to recognize what the color is in the background and then just remove it so it's transparent. There's a way to do that with creating images. When we're actually creating the images, we come down here and we literally do copy the pixels. So what I can do is go down here and somewhere in the pixel and go, if pixel equals this color, just remove it. That'd be as simple as that. But I got to do more work with this. This is based off of a few different people's work already on rendering, so I'm not going to claim entire credit for it. It is still pretty custom. This is the only section that I've borrowed some pieces from. I created this part. I figured out I needed to fix the swap buffer. I was having some issue and swapping the buffer fixed it. I don't know how it works or why it works. I just found it on a Google search. This part above here is taken from some of Max Wolf's work on his recipe render system. that I had the code laying around. I have a feeling he borrowed that from somebody else's, so the credit chain is really bad. So I'm just probably not even going to bother, to be honest. It's been changed a lot, and I'm going to continue to change it. I'm probably going to redo this entire piece, as I have to force the scaling, which I don't really like. So if we go up to here, I have to force the scaling to 8 times to get it to work with a 128 pixelation system. I need to find a way to auto scale that, because it does work. I mean, if you look at this, it does work really, really well, which is unexpected, but I want to come through here and do a little bit nicer information. Because we go to certain mods and it doesn't work, and I still have yet to figure out why it's not working on these mods. I think all of the custom render systems break, and then this stuff doesn't look quite right either. Actually, we're sitting in game. Let's take a look at this. So it did grab all the mods I'm using. Let's go find Java stuff. Java. No, that's right. It's just, it looks very funky when you actually sit there and look at it as an item. Now, of course, I could have pulled these textures from the actual mod itself, and that would have saved me tons of time and set up special rendering systems for it. But the idea of doing it this way is that I have the textures on hand, and if I make a wiki, so if I add Project E support to ICBM, I can then have these textures on there and go, okay, here's how you craft it. You grab whatever this item is, you grab something like this and stuff, and that will be the recipe, and it'll show up on there. So this will be used for recipe referencing. I can also do minor pages for the mods. I'm not going to build out full wikis for some of the mods, but having just minor pages to explain what each item is, and then have that page then go, okay, here's the actual wiki for this page, and link it back. Then when somebody's running around on my wiki, they can figure out where everything is, and they can get all the references, and they aren't confused and lost and everything. I still gotta figure out what's up with all this stuff. It's because if we sit here and we hit open with, and we actually open this up, I think it's just a blank image. Yeah, it's a blank image. I know this image is not even the correct size either. This is more than likely the actual size of this screen here. So something failed. And we can go run through the console real quick and I can take a look. I know it's probably crashed, which is the reason why it's not working. Runtime exception. No, that's the recipe handler catching broken recipes. There's actually like 4 broken recipes in the top of VoltzEngine that are intentionally stuck there just to let me know if the recipe system is properly working. I'm not seeing... Oh, wait. I think I saw an exception. Nope, that's the recipe system. Come back down. No, there's... So there's no exception being printed. It's trying to save a file. So it goes to save a file. It does not save it as a PNG, which is really strange because if we come up to the top of here, it's told to write as a PNG. I'm going to relook at this part because this is something I pulled off of Stack Overflow on how to save a PNG from a buffer image, and I don't think it's correct. It's not throwing an exception, so it's weird. What's even weirder is that the file has .png at the end as well. So like, there's no reason why these file names should not have PNG at the end. I mean, it works on some other... So it seems to be failing on anything that's got a custom render. And almost everything in VoltzEngine has a custom render on it right now. Yeah, it's really weird. Oh, I got the cake thing. It worked on the cake block, but then failed on everything else. Okay, worked on all the ICBM Classic stuff. All the ICBM Classic stuff still uses the vanilla render system, but these have special renders on them, so it's not that. It's only failing on certain things. We have item and tile ICBM Classic, so it's not working on these. I don't know why. Maybe some of these items don't have renders attached to them properly. That's a possibility. But we do know all this stuff does render. Like all the IC2 stuff works. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, none of this stuff works. No errors and no exceptions. What's really bizarre too is when you come down to this part here. is that it shouldn't be able to work. Because when it creates a frame buffer and then reads the pixels, no matter what, we should have a 128 by 128 system in here. So there's no way for it to be doing what it's doing, which is creating these huge images, because this system down here doesn't allow for it. Because we're limited by 128 by 128 pixels. Anyways, that's not the point of this demo. But you can hear my thoughts on what I need to fix here. And I'll be back later when I do get it fixed. I don't know when that's going to be because, well, at this point I'm not too worried about getting this done right away. This is something I just decided, like, out of the blue to start working on here a couple days ago. And it's what I've been working on for the last few days. But the need for it isn't really high. It's really just, I want to have pictures on this so I can debug recipes quicker. So if I click shaped and hit reload. This takes a while to load, but these are not very useful. I can see what's going on. I can get the impression of what the recipes are. So at least they're readable, but I want to have an image. Specifically, there's a couple ore dictionary ones down here. Yeah, like right here. So iron ore berry, iron nuggets, and iron nugget would be nice to do kind of how NEI has it and have an image there that changes. Or maybe not even have it change, just have maybe all 4 icons squeezed into like one or something. I could change the mode. I could put like a check mark box up here to change how it renders. It'd be really cool to put these up here. Anyways, I'll see you guys later.